As we step into a new year, the desire to refresh ourselves comes very naturally. For many people, hair is the very first thing that comes to mind. But what's interesting about this year lies elsewhere. It's no longer a race of hot trend haircuts, taking turns dominating the spotlight, like the shag, butterfly, or wolf cut. Hair trends are clearly shifting, focusing not only on how hair is cut, but on how it is worn, how we live with our hair in a way that feels lighter, more flexible, and more true to ourselves. This year, the standout trends all revolve around how hair falls, how it moves, and how it harmonizes with the face and everyday lifestyle. Hair no longer needs to be overly complicated or rigidly styled. Most importantly, it should help you look more polished, more youthful, while still feeling like yourself. To achieve that, it's essential to understand your face shape, facial proportions, and your natural hair texture, and at the same time, know how to clearly communicate your wishes to your stylist. The first trend ushering in the new year is long layered hair with a polished finish while still maintaining movement and light texture. What makes this style so appealing is that it isn't limited by length. You can see it on a lob, shoulder-length hair, long hair past the chest, and even very long hair. The key isn't the specific length, but rather how the layers are distributed and how the hair is styled after the cut. This hairstyle is especially versatile because it suits almost every face shape. For faces with more width, such as square, round, or pear shapes, long layers fall past the widest points of the face, creating the illusion of a slimmer, longer appearance. Specifically for square faces, long layers help soften strong angles, creating balance between sharpness and softness. For narrower and longer face shapes like oval or oblong, long layers typically stop at or just below the jawline. This is important because without layers, the eye naturally travels down the entire length of the hair, unintentionally making the face appear longer. Layers act as visual breaks, helping the face look more balanced. For heart-shaped and diamond-shaped faces, layers concentrated below the jawline help add fullness to the jaw area, balancing the wider forehead and cheekbones. The hair still has movement, without feeling heavy or difficult to manage. One important thing to remember is that this trend is not meant for hair that is pin straight or overly volumized. Styles that are too straight or too full often feel dated, as if trying to hold on to an old look. Instead, observe how your hair naturally falls each day and simply make gentle enhancements from that foundation. The goal isn't to turn your hair into something completely different, but to make it look slightly more polished, healthier, and more alive. When it comes to styling, you don't need many products. A suitable leave-in conditioner, a lightweight styling product appropriate for your hair type, a blowout brush, and a bit of hairspray for hold are enough. If you want to add waves, choose a large barrel curling iron to create soft, effortless waves, as if the hair is moving naturally with your body rather than being rigidly styled. When talking with your stylist, what matters isn't naming the trendiest haircut, but clearly expressing what you want. You should explain that you want long layers starting at or slightly above the jawline, depending on your overall length. Emphasize that you want the face framing pieces long enough to tuck behind your ears or pull back easily when needed. At the same time, You want soft movement in the hair and want to avoid layers that are too short and hard to style. This kind of communication helps the stylist understand that you're looking for a flexible, easy to live with haircut, not just a style that looks good on the first day you leave the salon. This year's hair trends clearly reflect one thing. We are entering an era that prioritizes comfort, individuality, and long-term wearability. Hair is no longer something meant to serve other people's gaze, but something that moves in harmony with your own rhythm of life. The next section will dive deeper into fringe and bob trends, where youthfulness doesn't come from how short the hair is cut, but from understanding facial proportions and using smart texturizing techniques. Bangs are making a very clear comeback this year, but not in the heavy, forehead-covering way of previous eras. What these popular fringe styles have in common is a moderate lightness, visible movement, a hint of the forehead, and a natural blend with the rest of the hair. Bangs are no longer a separate block, but part of the face framing structure. The most prominent fringe style is the bottleneck, or A-frame bang, also known as a fringe that opens at the center and angles down toward the temples. Rather than being bluntly cut straight across, these bangs are soft, airy, and fluid, creating a light and youthful feel. This style softens the overall look, highlights the eyes and cheekbones, and still offers great versatility in styling. What matters most when it comes to bangs isn't face shape, but facial thirds. The face is divided into the upper, middle, and lower thirds. Some people are quite balanced across all three, while others may have more length in the forehead or in the nose and chin area. Understanding this helps you decide whether bangs are right for you and which type will work best. For those with fairly even facial proportions, bangs are almost limitless. You can choose based on personal preference, mood, and lifestyle. In this case, bangs are more about aesthetics than reshaping the face. For those with a longer forehead, bangs become an excellent balancing tool. Soft bangs that lightly fall across the forehead help visually shorten the upper third, bringing focus back to the eyes and cheekbones. As a result, the face appears more harmonious and youthful. On the other hand, for those with more length in the middle or lower thirds of the face, bangs are more a matter of personal preference. Bangs can draw attention downward if not handled carefully. In these cases, light, open bangs that can be swept to the sides work better than thick, closed-off fringes. One of the best things about this year's fringe trend is its high flexibility. You can wear the bangs more closed in the center for a fuller look, or open them up to create that A-frame shape. Simply changing how you blow-dry or part your hair can completely alter the look. This flexibility keeps you from feeling stuck with a single style. When talking to your stylist, be clear that you want bangs with movement, not blunt or too short. Emphasize that you want the bangs to naturally flow into the face framing layers, rather than sitting as a separate section. This helps avoid stiff bangs that are difficult to style at home. The next trend, and a very interesting bridge between cutting and styling, is the side part. After a long time where the middle part was considered the standard, the side part is making a confident return. The great thing about a side part is that you can try it today without cutting your hair or spending any money. A side part instantly adds volume at the roots, making the face look brighter and more lifted. For round and square faces, the diagonal line of a side part breaks up symmetry and creates the illusion of a slimmer, longer face. For oval or long faces, A side part works well too, as long as it isn't parted too deeply if you're concerned about adding length. For heart-shaped and diamond-shaped faces, side parts come with almost no restrictions. You can choose a soft or deep side part depending on your mood, and the overall look will still feel balanced. If you plan to stick with a side part long term, ask your stylist to cut your face framing layers with your hair parted the way you actually wear it. Cutting hair with a middle part and then wearing it with a side part at home often leads to styling issues. All of these trends share a common spirit. This year's hair doesn't need to be flashy or complicated. It needs to be easy to care for, easy to live with, and a true reflection of who you are right now. When your hair moves in harmony with your life, you naturally feel lighter every day. See you again in the next video. Thank you for pressing like and leaving a comment for the channel.